So our first speaker of this morning, I keep feeling like saying evening, is Naveen Jain. He's an entrepreneur and he speaks all over the world and is passionate about change. He's also the founder of InfoSpace, iKnowme, and Moon Express. Let's take a look at a quick video of Naveen before he comes on stage.
7 billion people are connected for the first time when they are not just a consumer of information, they become the producer of ideas. What is it a person, a child who can solve some of the most complex problem in a video game struggles with the basic thing? It is not that the child is dumb, it's not that teachers are dumb. It is the way we are teaching is wrong. The heroes of the world really are the people who go out and take these ideas and implement them. And these heroes, we call them entrepreneurs. And these are the people who are going to go out and find the greatest solutions to every problem out there. Success is not about how much money you have in the bank. Success is about how many lives can you improve. So be out there, be successful, and be humble.
Let's welcome Naveen Jain.
Thank you. As you can see, I'm going to discuss about entrepreneurship. To me, India is a land of opportunity. And what makes it a land of opportunity is what some people describe as the big problems. When an entrepreneur looks at the problem, whether it is hundreds of millions of people with no education, or looking at the lack of health care, or a lack of clean water, or the corruption, these are the biggest opportunity for an entrepreneur to go out and not only be successful, but also be significant. In life, many of us watch the history being made. This is the time for each one of us to go out and make the history. And the way we're going to go out and make a history is not just focus on being successful, we're going to be significant. We are not going to measure our life by the amount of money we have in our bank account. We're going to measure our life by how many lives we have been able to have a positive impact on. So let's all be significant. We are going to talk about how we're going to go look at these big problems from a mindset of an entrepreneur. So in life, there are 3 types of people. The people who see the problem. Since all of us are so good at seeing the problem, let's just call them human beings, right? There are some of us who are brilliant people who come up with ideas, the big ideas. But those are the visionaries. And there is only one type of people in the world who goes out and takes these ideas and goes out and does something about that. Those are those great entrepreneurs. Those are the people in this room. Those are the volunteers who are going to make the India better. They're not going to just come up with the big ideas. They're going to be the big executioner. They're going to go out and make a difference. And that's why each one of you is in this room. So you make a pledge. Tell me if you all want to make India better. If so, say yes. Yes. Okay. What are we going to do about making the India better? So let me give you the solutions about how we're going to go attack each one of the problems I described. You talk about education. Education is not about opening up the universities. It's all about changing people's mindset, allowing people to dream. When you take away the people's power to dream, when you take away the people's power to imagine, you know what you're left behind? You leave people who feel helpless. You people find who are hopeless. What you want to do is to give them a dream. And I want to share a small story about myself here. I grew up in India. We were poor. There are days we didn't have food to eat. And we didn't have to be poor. My father had a very good job in the government. But in the government, he was expected to take bribes. My dad decided that he wasn't going to take a bribe. Guess what happened? We had very little money because the salaries were so low. We didn't have food to eat. But that was not the problem. The problem was If he did not take the bribe, he was supposed to take the bribe by allowing the contractor to build the shoddy buildings, and the money that the contractor saves, it gives it to the overseer. That's my dad. And my dad was supposed to take a piece of it, give it to his boss. His boss is supposed to take a piece of it, give it to his boss. Every 6 to 9 months, his boss will call the contractor and say, I'm not seeing the money coming in. Is that son of a bitch eating all the money? He said, eating money? Can you believe what he's asking me to do? What is that? He's asking me to build the building to the spec. Have you ever heard of that? Guess what happens? In government, you never get fired. You get transferred. Every 6 months, my dad will move from one village to another village to another village. The most rural places where there's no building to be made. That's why, because you don't want that guy who's not taking bribe anywhere in the system, because he's taking someone else's money. Guess what? Most of my education was done, all of our family, in villages where there were no tables, no chairs. We sat on the floor, we wrote on the floor. And guess what happened? Amazing things happened. My sister went on to do a postdoctorate in applied mathematics. Right. My younger brother has a PhD in statistics and computer science. I am the least educated person in our family with a degree from IIT engineering and MBA. So how did that happen? I came to this country with $5 in my pocket, could not speak the language, and here I was, trying to create an American dream, when the American dream was really an Indian dream, right? That Indian dream was a boy sitting in a village, looking up in the sky, looking at the moon, and thinking, what if I could go to the moon? What if it is possible for that poor boy in a village to go to the moon? And I'm so proud to tell you, I started a company that's going to be first company ever to land on the moon in 18 months. Now imagine a boy from India, if he can go out about dreaming about going to the moon and make it happen, what can you do? Right. So there is not a problem in the world that you can't solve if you put your mind to it. What's the mindset of an entrepreneur? When they see a problem, they see the opportunities. And they think about the problem very, very differently. So, for example, when people talk about sustainability, they're always talking from the mindset of scarcity. That means sustainability became a synonym for conservation. Use less. What if I told you that nobody can spend less and create wealth? You create wealth by creating more. So what if you create a mindset of abundance, that everything that we want is in abundance? We fight. We fight over things because somehow we think they are scarce. You're all sitting in this room, and I was talking to Sri just before, and I said, I've never seen someone sitting next to me and say, can you please stop breathing because you're taking my oxygen? You know why? Because we think oxygen is in abundance. We don't need to worry about it. The minute we only things we fight over because somehow we think they're scarce, the money. What if you could create abundance of that? Education, energy. What if I could told you this planet is abundance of energy? Every single day, more energy is falling on this planet from solar as from sun than we can consume on this planet ever. So this planet is full of resources. But when you think of a planet, you're thinking just the planet Earth. What if I told you Earth is nothing but a spaceship that's going in a galaxy? And if you look at it from a galaxy's perspective, we are a tiny blue dot. A tiny blue dot. And the house that we are proud of, that house doesn't even exist in that dot. Right? The thing that we value most in our life here, nobody can see that. And if you think about some people who are really, our society evolved in the last couple of 100,000 years. And imagine how advanced we are. Imagine a humanity that's evolving somewhere else that evolved a million years before we did. They're going to be looking at us like we look at the ants. Can you believe these people here on the planet Earth? What are they like ants? They walk. Can't they just come from here and appear somewhere else? They go to a place and they sit on the thing that flies. These guys are like ants. They have no civilization, right? So point is, what we are so proud of is really nothing in a big picture. The reason Shri was telling me this morning was abundant. You talk about the wisdom. His wisdom was really, really simple to me. And he said, the human mind, you can try to be happy. And the way you try to be happy is, you try to think rationally. And the thing about thinking rationally, I was telling Sri was, it is the knowledge. You need to, the people who are ignorant, you know what happens when they're ignorant? They're afraid of darkness because they think there are monsters out there. The minute you bring the flashlight, there are no monsters. And the knowledge is that flashlight. Once you educate people, once you give them the knowledge, they start to see that there are no monsters. There is nothing but goodness. There is nothing but abundance. There is nothing but the things that you desire. And if you desire enough something in your life, you can get it. So all I want to do is end with a simple thing. Make a pledge. Each one of you should stand up and make a pledge that I'm going to dedicate my life not just to be successful, but to be significant. And I'm going to measure my life by the impact I'm going to make on the society, not by collecting money. And I'm going to go out and create abundance of everything so that everybody on this planet can have the same thing and be happy just like all of us are. So make a pledge. Stand up and say, I pledge. Get up. Say, I pledge to make the society a better society. I'm going to dedicate my life to make India a better place. Thank you.